let's talk about one of the most painful feelings a person can go through. And, more importantly, let's talk about how you can find your power right in the middle of that feeling.
You know that feeling, right? That sudden punch to the gut moment where your whole world just tilts. Maybe it's a text message you see, a photo that pops up, a conversation you accidentally overhear, and in an instant, boom, you feel blindsided. Small, it's that universal sting of rejection, and it really feels like you've lost all control. So we're going to walk through that exact moment step by step. We'll start with that awful feeling of shrinking. Then we'll talk about a choice you have, a real fork in the road. We'll look at how your own energy can be your guide. And finally, how you can turn this whole painful thing into your greatest superpower.
Okay, let's start with what happens right after the impact. The news hits, and almost immediately this voice inside your head starts talking. And it's that old familiar voice of self-doubt. And trust me, it gets loud, fast.
And it's kind of crazy how we all have the same script, isn't it? I'm not good enough. Of course this happened. This always happens to me. It's like this pre-recorded track of pain just starts playing on a loop, telling you the same old story, that you're the problem. And that right there is the core of it. You can almost feel yourself physically shrinking. You feel powerless, like your happiness, your worth is suddenly being decided by someone else. But here's the thing, that feeling, that shrinking feeling is a signal. It's an alarm bell telling you to pay attention.
And that signal leads you right here, to a fork in the road. See, every single time you feel that sting, you're actually being presented with a choice. Let me tell you a quick story to show you what I mean.
So there's this young musician, right? She had a thing with someone, but it kind of fizzled out. No big deal. Then this amazing new person comes into her life. A new friend, a collaborator who's super supportive of her career, and then the gut punch. She finds out her new supportive friend and her old flame now have a crush on each other. Ouch. Total ouch.
Now, after the initial wave of hurt, she had this unbelievable realization. Instead of making it all about rejection, she completely reframed it. She thought, okay, this is the test. This is the universe testing how serious I am about my own dream. That's such a huge shift, right? It goes from what's wrong with me to what is this trying to teach me?
And this is exactly where we see those two paths. The left path, well, that's the familiar one. It's the one where you focus on them, where you look for their approval, and you just fall back into those same old patterns. You shut down or maybe you get angry, and the outcome is always the same. You feel drained and small. But then there's the right path. This one is about choosing yourself. It's about being brave enough to do something different, something that actually feels like the person you want to be.
Now, here comes the hard truth. If you just keep taking that left path over and over, life has a funny way of upping the ante. The tests don't stay small, they get bigger. The pain gets sharper. And eventually, life sends a sledgehammer, a wake-up call so big, so jarring, that you just can't ignore it anymore.
So how do we actually choose that right path? Well, it starts with an idea that might sound a little weird at first. Healthy selfishness. Now, this isn't about being a jerk. It's about accepting the reality you can't control. And then immediately flipping the script and asking yourself a new question. Okay, given all this, how can I win? Let's look at our musician again. She totally flipped the script. Instead of just focusing on what she lost, she saw a potential win. She thought, wait a minute, how amazing would it be if two people who believe in me and support me also found love with each other? I actually get to be surrounded by all that good energy. See, she found a way to win.
Okay, so you're standing at that fork in the road. How do you know which path is the right one in the moment? Simple. You listen to your internal compass. You pay attention to the feeling, to your energy, because your energy never ever lies.
Think about it. That left path, the old familiar way, it feels like shrinking. It's depleting. You can literally feel your power draining out of you. But the right path, the one where you choose yourself, that feels like expansion. It's energizing. Even if it's the harder choice in the moment, it brings energy back into your life. That feeling, that is your guide.
If these conversations help you think deeper, you might consider subscribing.
Because when you start following that guide, you're not just getting through a tough spot. You're actually doing something much bigger. Which brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, turning all that pain into your greatest strength.
You see, the breakthrough you're always looking for, it's usually hiding on the other side of your deepest pain. The heartbreak you went through isn't just a scar, it's your training. It's what gives you the wisdom to spot that fork in the road faster and faster each time. That is the superpower.
You learn to turn your pain into your purpose.
So how do you build this superpower? You have to treat it like a muscle. First, just acknowledge the feeling. Ow, that really hurt. No judgment, just notice it. Second, in your mind, actually picture that fork in the road. See the old path on the left, the new one on the right. And then third, just choose one tiny thing, a thought, an action, anything that nudges you just an inch towards the right.
And every single time you do that, that muscle gets stronger. You are literally rewiring your brain's response to pain. You're training yourself to see a roadblock not as a dead end, but as a chance to go in a new, better direction. It's a practice. It's not a one-time thing.
And eventually you get to a place where you can say this to yourself, and you really mean it. You can look at that old, destructive path and just say, I know you. I know exactly where you lead, and I am not going down that road again. This time, I'm turning right.
So the next time you feel it, that drop in your stomach, that sting of insecurity, I want you to remember this. You are not powerless. You are simply standing at a fork in the road. You have a choice. You have all the power. The only question is, which way will you turn?